some of you saw, I did a play called And Then There Were None. Thank you. A couple of my cast members are here, and one of them is going to come up and tell a story. And I did not know this guy. He auditioned for the play, did a fantastic audition for a particular part I cast him in, did a wonderful job in the play. I came to rehearsal one night, and he was telling this story to the other people in the cast, because I was always the last one there. And it was fascinating. It was just so interesting. And I needed to hear more of the story, so I asked him about it. And then I asked him if he would come and tell a story at our storytelling night. So I'd like you guys to welcome Brian Stutzman, who's going to tell us about himself.
All right. I'm terrified. All right. Where do we start? Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm an addict. Oh, no, wait, wrong room. I'm Brian, and I have DID. What's DID? Well, it's called dissociative identity disorder. I even did my hair to help you out. Sometimes there's two of me in here that have to work things out, so to speak. Not just one voice, two. So I have DID, dissociative identity disorder. It means there's two people in my head instead of one. Well, how does that happen? Well, a series of unfortunate events. So let's start by telling you guys this is a good story. Okay, this is not a story of death and destruction. This is a story of victory and life. So I'm going to tell you a few things about myself. And as I do, I want you to know that I survived them all. Because I'm here, right? So let's get started. I was born Lucas Shane Stutzman, but I'm here before you as Brian, and that didn't happen overnight. It took years to get to where I am today. I started just over in Wisconsin. I was born Lucas Shane Stutzman in Little Cream, Wisconsin, born in Wabasha, raised in Wisconsin. My town was unincorporated. We had a mayor till he died. We just didn't re-elect another one. I didn't need it. We had like a bar and 2 churches. So this is my upbringing. We loved Jesus or else. And that's just the way it went. I did. I was a happy kid. I loved Jesus with all my heart. I attended the church services. I went to the stuff and I prayed the prayers and I said things and I tried to help anybody I could. And I knew what was good. I had good nailed. But there was something else that was going on at the same time. You see, I'm the youngest of 5 boys, and shit flows downhill. Before I was 10, I had my arm twisted so far behind my back that it popped. I have a labrum tear in my right shoulder for over 30 years that I still haven't fixed. And you guys don't know it, but I just flipped between personalities right in front of you. But if you were listening, you heard my voice change. You see, when I talk about the physical trauma, it's hard not to fall into this guy, and he's over here on this side. My voice is deeper, and my hand sometimes shakes when I get nervous. But it's okay, I survived. And this is a good story. And I can shift back over to the other side. You ready? I'm going to do it. And this guy smiles more. He's happier, and he's the guy from 0 to 21, because at 21 I had an accident. I was riding my motorcycle just over here behind the aquatic center. Twiddling along, it was 70 degrees, October 23rd, 2001. There was a car in front of me about 2 car lengths up. Didn't think anything of it. And there was an SUV stopped at a stop sign. And as the car in front of me pulled away, he just went. I was right there. I was only going 30 miles an hour. He just didn't see me. Side note, guys, wear a helmet. Wear a helmet. Okay? It's a good story. So, I got hit. I flew through the air, and I remember thinking, Hulk Hogan, WWF, land on your back, spread the weight out. And I did. Somehow I landed on my back, and my head cracked backwards. And then Clark was gone. This guy I call my first personality. I call him Clark. I'm sorry I didn't say that sooner. I was born Lucas. and I lived my life Lucas, but in hindsight, when I look at this part of my life from 0 to 21 before this motorcycle accident, I labeled that compartment inside me Clark. And I did that so that I could find my way back to it. Because after that motorcycle accident, I lost the ability to recall yesterday. Well, what does that mean? What does that even look like? What do you even say to that? Well, you see, after that moment, any memory that I wanted to access within me had to be triggered. I could trigger it myself, or you could trigger it for me. But after that knock on my head, it was like my whole memory, it was like amnesia. I couldn't find anything about myself. If you said, "What do you remember about you?" I'd be like, "I don't know." "What's your phone number?" "Oh, it's this." If you give me a specific question, I could find it instantly. But if you asked me a vague one, I have no idea. I can't find it. It's like the connector to those memories was gone. So I'm laying on the pavement, unconscious, and I come out of consciousness, and the guy that hit me is hovering over me going, "Should I call your wife? What's her number?" And I rattle it off. Oh, I'm doing good. All right. Next thing I know, I'm in the ambulance, and I'm on my way to the hospital, fading in and out of consciousness. And I remember the nurse asking me what I was saying. I said, no, never mind me. I'm just talking to God. You just take care of me. And even in that moment of hurt and pain, I was trusting in some weird, precious way. Now I'm going to switch back, because the moment I woke up, I was still me, kind of, Clark, this part of me, but I was the other guy then. Because there was a break between us, and this motorcycle accident forced it. Ready? When I opened my eyes, did you hear the voice change? You got it? Okay, good. When I opened my eyes in the hospital, I'm nervous. I'm okay. Lord, help. All right. When I opened my eyes in the hospital, my wife was there. I was 3 months married. I was on my way home. It was the 1-year anniversary of the day I met my wife. We met and married in 6 months. We met and proposed in 6 months, married at 9. And 3 months later, on the 1-year anniversary of the day we met, I was on my way home from work when I got hit by a truck. When he got hit by a truck, he should have wore a helmet. And it changed our life. Because from this point on, for the next 18 years, nobody knew what was wrong with me. He's fine. He can ask him a question, he remembers everything. But I couldn't multitask anymore. I used to manage a pizza place. I couldn't do 6 things at once. I could only do one thing at a time. My brain had been damaged, but nobody could tell me how or why or how to fix it. Now, at this point in my life, I was still Lucas. I was just the guy that was trying to get through every day. I only had one voice in my head telling me what to do, and I'm going there doing it. I'm going there doing it. Only after the accident, it was like there was this fog in my brain. I couldn't think clear every day, and I could work for 2 days, and then I'd pass out for 18 hours. And then I could work 2 more days, and I'd pass out for 18 hours. It took me 5 years before I could work 40 hours in a single week without needing extra rest. By the 10-year mark, I had 3 kids, and my wife left me. Now I'm 3 kids and alone, right? My wife can't handle what this is, what it was, my wife, my first wife. 10 years in, I take my 3 kids and I get remarried. Now I have a Brady Bunch. There's 6 kids and 2 adults, and we're doing this. Wait a minute. I've just gotten fibromyalgia. Full body pain, head to toe. Feels like you just did the biggest workout of your entire life the day before and exercised every single one of your muscles. You didn't miss a single one. You got the toe, you got the neck, you got your finger, you got them all. And now you're suffering from the aftermath of that workout. That's what fibromyalgia feels like. Every day, nonstop, without end. And the pain isn't what gets you. It's the hopelessness. Because you've got this forever, and it's never going to leave. But after 6 years of that, my kids were growing up, and I was really starting to enjoy it. That was a lie. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I told you this was a good story, and it is. My daughter was going through a hard time in her life, and it grabbed a hold of me. And I'm going, what's going on? And in my moment of showing compassion for her, it brought me to a memory. This is 18 years after my motorcycle accident. It brought me to a memory from before the accident that I had forgotten, that I never remembered. And I'm going to tell you in advance, this is the moment that brought the 2 parts of me together into one. This is the moment where it all happened, where I wasn't just one of me anymore. I was now DID. I was now different. Up to this point, I didn't think I was any different than any other human being. I have hopes and dreams. I have kids I love. I have a wife that I think she loves me. We seem to be okay. But I find this moment 3 months, 6 months. It was 6 months before I met my first wife. I'm going to go to Clark, hold on. I told you I lived my life, the first half of my life, happy, going after God, Jesus, all of that, right? Well, I hit a point where I got pissed. I was so angry at God. God, you're screwing up my life. And I told him, I said, God, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to go find me a wife. I can love someone. I know how to love. Screw you, God, my way. It doesn't work. This is a good story, guys. It has a good ending. I got hit by that truck after that moment in my life, and I forgot that I had done it. I couldn't remember it. And there wasn't anybody in this world that was going to ask me about that. Because all of my memories have to come out from you guys, right? You have to trigger it out of me, provoke it out of me. And that's what happened when I was 38 and a half years old. 6.5 years with fibromyalgia, sleep apnea, breathing machine. I can't even get my own body to breathe at night. I gasp for air. Every breath. When it started, I was waking up. I was gasping 56 times an hour. That's once every minute I would gasp for air every night, trying to catch my own breath because my brain couldn't keep up. And at 38 and a half, I remembered that memory where I cursed God and told him to go fly a kite. I didn't do it that way. I told him to fuck off. And then I lived as the guy I call Bruce for 17 years, and he did go fuck off. He did whatever he wanted, whatever felt right. And he knew what evil was, so to speak. He knew what pain felt like. And in that moment that I remembered it, I fell to my knees and said, I'm sorry, God. The first guy was wrong. He saw what good was, and he didn't want it. He spit it out. And I'm here 17 years old later, and I can see the other side of that coin, Lord, and this sucks. I spit it out. And in that moment, I said, God, you're in control. And in my head, my mind flipped from the compartment I was stuck in It was the damaged compartment from that motorcycle accident, and it flipped over into Clark, as I call it. Me at 21. And suddenly, I'm in my family, and I feel just like me. I feel like Lucas. I was Lucas just 5 minutes ago, but I was that Bruce guy. And zooming out, right? I was that Bruce guy, that guy with 18 years of pain, right? Suddenly, I'm Lucas at 21 in my head, and I don't feel any different to me. I feel just the same. I'm still Lucas. I'm no different. And I spent the last 3 years of my life walking through those two pieces, waking up in my head. Long story short is it cost me my marriage, my second one. And in the middle of my chaos, I'm going to embarrass her right now. She's right there. In the middle of my chaos, I found someone that understood me, that forgave me for being me. Because in that moment that I found myself, and I became this 21-year-old trapped in a 38-year-old body. All of my memories shifted. I could start to remember all of my childhood again. And all of my memories from 21 to 38 began to disappear. The compartments were separate from each other. It took me 2 years to work through their differences and marry them. And then I had the one and only seizure I've ever had in my life. And my brain wiped out. I lost all of my memories again. It was just like the motorcycle accident where I woke up and it was all just gone. Only this time as I came back up and people started to trigger the memories in me, all of it flooded back in. And the more information they gave me, the more I got, only there was a difference inside me. I had two voices for every question you'd ask. Do you like broccoli? Oh my God, it's gross. Oh, I love it so much. What do you want to do with your life? Everything, nothing. What's your favorite color? Red, blue. Come on, guys, it's purple. And that's where Brian comes in. When I'm with her, I don't feel attacked anymore. I don't feel out of place anymore. I don't feel lost anymore. Because this thing that's been guiding me, God, this spirit inside of me that's been helping me figure out what's what, is just love. And that's what she offered me. She offered me love. Genuine, unconditional love. No strings attached. You're allowed to be Clark. Hi. Woohoo. You're allowed to be Bruce. Fuck you. And she hears me either way. And when I found that place where both were allowed to exist equally, whether I can see the good or I'm certain of the bad, I can step back and just be Brian. It's totally purple, guys. I learned a few things on this journey. Lesson 1, do not hide. If you're happy, share it. Own it, love it, but it's not about the good. And if you've been through hell, it's okay. You're not alone. And if you've been through both, welcome to the party. Because there's freedom when you let it all go. Because it's not about what you do, it's all about how you do it. Lesson 2, there are right ways to fight. You learn very quickly that if you just keep blowing up at yourself, you're never going to get anything accomplished. So I learned how to stay calm because I had to let both of my sides talk to each other in some kind of way. And if you can't stay calm, you're never going to get a conversation out. That works with regular people too. But the biggest lesson is lesson 3. You are not alone. That's all I got, guys. Thank you.